with that, you kind of touched on this earlier, but with everything, Nico gone, I guess Mark Cuban being brought back in, or at least his opinion being brought back into consideration. Who runs the Mavs? I know you said final say is Patrick Dumont and Matt Riccardi's making the basketball operations, but like, is this a collaborative effort? Is there a clear hierarchy? How does that whole situation work? Because it is, I guess, a bit more odd as the basketball operations is kind of been a talking point for the media over the last year.
Yeah, honestly, for the most part, I don't have too much insight into it yet. I think we haven't really faced like much of a scenario where they've had to make like complicated decisions with the roster or anything of that nature. Like I think the upcoming move would be to kind of like I'm assuming cut Dante Exum whenever the timetable or schedule works for salary cap reasons to then convert Ryan Nembhard to a standard contract, which is it's a lot of like basic like templatized like you're obviously going to make this move type of decisions so far. But my understanding, I think there's kind of a collection of voices right now. I think Jason Kidd is somebody that I would definitely look at as someone who has influence on these decisions. Like Patrick Dumont leans on him. Like I think there's like almost like I guess you could say I don't know if this is a great comparison, but it's almost like a basketball cabinet, if you will, or council of multiple voices. It's not it's not a very helpful answer on this one either. But I just think that's the reality that they live in, where you don't have that clear cut GM where you're following his vision. I think this is more of a collaborative, collective effort to problem solve things that come up while they're navigating the rest of the season.
I don't know if you would know, but perspective, like when you look at Riccardi, you look at Finley, you look at Kidd, like is there a hierarchy there in terms of who he values opinions wise, or are they all kind of the same and he just takes whatever they say to him and he makes his own decision off that?
I don't know if like Kidd's opinion or Jason Kidd's opinions valued like clear cut more than everybody else, but I do know from a basketball standpoint, his opinions, valued quite a bit by the ownership group, and I know Mark Cuban is providing input as well too. Like I don't want to make that sound like oh Mark Cuban's the GM by any means or Jason Kidd's the GM or whatever, but I just know that like while they're getting through this, it's really, really important that the head coach has alignment on what they're doing on the basketball court. So by default, you're going to have to rely on, like not only is he respected, but you are by necessity going to have to get through the season with his input valued very heavily. So I think that's probably like I don't want to say like he's clear cut, like more important voice wise than the co-interim GMs, but his basketball input is very heavily valued.
I think the most interesting thing with this whole Dallas Mavericks situation is that this is a team, we talked about it before, that the construction of the roster was, I think anyone who understands basic basketball understands that you can't have a bunch of players who can't handle the ball, play with one, especially when you're injured. You knew someone was going to be injured. And I love Brandon Williams. I love what he did last year. And I've been a big fan of him since I believe the Portland Trailblazers had him on a two-way. He is someone who, if there was 32 NBA teams, would be in an NBA rotation on a team if there was enough. He's been a guy, I think, obviously he's a reserve guard for them and he's earned his opportunity. But same thing with Ryan Nembhard. But no disrespect to them.